Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night Podcast. I'm your host, Ray Cannon, and with me as always is Kent.
Hello.
Courtney.
Hi.
Matt.
Hello.
And Rob.
Hello, everybody.
And Rob tonight will be announcing his running for the American presidency. Matt Robbins is a running mate. He promises that everyone will get cheese.
Yeah,
Bringing back the American cheese.
bulk out the national cheese supply.
Listen, if there's one thing we can compete with other countries on, it's cheese.
Well,
Look.
other countries have some amazing cheese.
I know,
We
but
just, yeah.
we
The
can.
reason we have stuffed
Matt,
crust
I'd vote
pizza
for you if
at
you
Pizza Hut
promised
is
us
because
all
the
cheese.
government ordered a lot of cheese and then went, we need to get rid of this, and then sold it to Pizza Hut. So, I mean, there's can only be good things coming.
But our
Matt and I are
topic,
gonna fix that, everybody.
our topic for tonight, is hey, you on a budget? We're gonna talk about games that are $30 or under. So maybe you can wreck that budget still, even if you don't have much money. There you go.
Now, I'd like to thank our sponsor for this show, which is Miniature Market, aka Kent Parker. Thank you for sponsoring
I wish.
the show.
Yeah, don't be announcing sponsorships that we don't actually have, because what if we
Yeah.
ever got one, you know?
Well, Kent is
wishful
keeping them
thinking.
afloat. So technically, I give Kent the sponsorship.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Until they drop their price on Lorcana.
Saying hi to Andrew Diamond Dice and Steve. I can't pronounce last names.
STEI Stites.
Stites, what's up,
Sparkles.
guys? Thank you for
Sparkles.
joining us here live on the
Sparkles.
YouTubes.
Sparkles.
It's definitely not Sparkles this time.
Hey, Matt. Gerald. Gerald.
Yep.
Jonathan. Anyway,
Gerald. No. Gerald.
nice. But hey, we are, I guess, going to get into it with some news. And the first piece of news that we actually have here was put into our very own Robert Newman. This is
Yes, sir.
Aces and Armor.
So, yeah, I'm excited for these war games that are coming out. And Aces and Armor just launched. It was a pretty cheap Kickstarter. They only wanted 10,000 to get it going. But I think they kind of undersold themselves because they said a deal. They were like, hey, if we can get funded in our first day, we'll automatically unlock all of our stretch goals.
What?
Well, they
That's a-
did. And so all of the stretch goals are unlocked, but Aces and Armor is done by the same company that did Trench Club, which is a World War I game. Aces and Armor is similar play style, but it's World War II themed, but it's more Eastern Europe, World War II. So your factions are the U.S. And Russia, and two factions of Germany. You don't really see Britain in it, and you don't see Japan because, again, it's more Eastern Europe type of a thing. But Aces and Armor, it's just that it's a cool-looking war game where you're moving units. You got to declare attacks, and you do combat. You also can repair units, so that's what's kind of cool, is each unit comes with like a little standee that connects to it, and you got artillery, infantry, tanks, jeeps, bombers, fighters, all this other kind of stuff. And they come on these special standees, and the better your unit does, it can level up. So it'll start off as a private, and then it can become a lieutenant, and then it can become like a sergeant, and then maybe a captain or something like that. No, private, sergeant, then lieutenant. Sorry, because lieutenant's an officer. Anyway, you can level up your units, and they'll hit harder. They'll have more powers. I thought that was really cool. And also in the standee, there's a health marker. So you don't just like shoot one shot and the tank blows up. You've got to try to destroy it for its hit points. But as it levels up, it might be harder to kill. It might be easier to repair and stuff like that. It's really not that bad. You can get the game for €65, which is about $70. And it looks like it comes with a lot. In fact, Mark Streed for the Dice Tower did a preview of this game a while ago. And so it's on their page. If you go to the Kickstarter page, you'll see the Dice Tower preview with Mark Streed and a couple of other groups that have done previews with it. I also noticed that the Gimpy Gamer He did one, and he did one for the other one that I talked about last week. And so I'm pretty excited about it. But it looks fun. It looks good. It doesn't look very expensive. I probably am going to end up getting the World War One as well, because I don't have a lot of World War One games. In fact, I think I only have one now. I had two. The Grizzled is World War One, and then I have World War One Axis and Allies. I don't have another one. And so Trench Club looks really cool. The difference between this and Trench Club, they said Trench Club is going to take an average of an hour per player, and it can play like 1 to 4 players. This game can go anywhere between an hour to 2 hours, even at its max. So it's more streamlined. Aces and Armor is more streamlined. It's going to play faster. But just the miniatures and all that kind of stuff. I'm a sucker for miniatures, right?
It gives me that Memoir 44 vibes or whatever. But
it does, and I hope they do the cards. I hope they do some of the cards like Memoir 44, but that was one of the things I also didn't care for.
I do like, it's limiting, right?
Area.
Yeah, I do like the leveling up idea. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like the leveling up and the repairs and things like that. So it looks fun. I don't think its price point is bad at all. When I looked at Trench
to the
Club,
game last week.
What?
Not compared to last week you were talking about.
No, last week is amazing. And you know why last week is amazing?
Because the Chinese New Year.
Because, man, you know what's so funny is I went on Kickstarter and GameFound today just to see like how many games I still have supposedly coming in.
Wow.
And it's a lot. But it's so funny is in the top comments from a couple months ago, people were ripping on, wow, like even Trudvang, for example. They were like, Chinese New Year got us again. There's another delay. And I'm like, not with this Imperial game I backed. So I'm excited. I'm thankful for companies when, they check the calendar and they see what's going to happen next month.
I got a refund on my Trudvang forever ago, but I still get notifications for it because I had originally backed it. And like, it's still so frustrating to me even now. Like, they're like, well, this new expansion is maybe going to come out soon. I'm like, how many years has it been, guys?
2019.
When it's been like half a decade, it's like, what in the world?
It was 19 or 20. It was,
that's
it was
crazy. Pre-COVID, that campaign.
As the goblins, we're
not going to talk about Loot and Shoot. We're not going to talk about that. That's not coming.
Aces and Armor. If you're looking for a cool World War II game with cool miniatures, check this out. I've never played Trench Club, so I don't know the company. I think this is only their third ever Kickstarter. So they're not like a huge company where they put out a bunch. But again, they've gotten a lot of companies to do good reviews, Dice Tower and some of these other big names. So they've got to have some type of a presence to get these names out there.
Nice.
And I like the price point. So that's mine, Aces and Armor.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, this next one I'm sure Kent will know about, but this is a entry gateway. It's Lorcana Gateway. It's a new way to get into a Lorcana. I guess this is supposed to help teach you the game for new players. And honestly, I feel like card games and things like this, like they need to do more of this, of like helping people get into the game if you want your game to survive. So this is kind of cool, I thought. Have you looked at this at all? I'm sure this is way below your level there, Kent.
Yeah, it was one of those things I saw and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then, I'm not really the target market for it, but it's cool that I think it's probably a lot more accessible. There's a lot less keywords, I'm sure. It's more just to getting you up and running. Like they've done this for Pokemon, I feel like.
Yeah, a ton. Yeah,
it's one of the bigger ones.
They've done it for Magic and things like that too. But the ones that are big, they do this sort of thing for. So it's kind of cool seeing that they're going to do a little learn to play gateway game thing for.
And maybe it also helped get some more kids into it, because I know some of the I'm sure some kids would like playing this game, but it's just more like, can I get into it? Can I? They might buy a few packs, but they might not have what they need to play, or the starter decks might have too many complicated things going on. So this is a good idea. I think it's pretty cheap too, from what I saw. I think, what was the MSRP? I don't have it here. I believe it's going to be pretty affordable.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. The next one here, I don't know if we had talked about this yet, so I put it in the news just because I'm excited about this. Have we talked about Wandering Galaxy yet?
I think we mentioned it briefly, but
I want to talk about it more.
What more do you know about it?
No, I'm just really excited about this. Is the upcoming Plaid Hat game set in space, but this is basically a Jerry Hawthorne's take on their Crossroads system that they've been kind of doing a lot of the Forgotten Waters. And then the follow-up to that was Freelancers, which are two of like my like I love those games. The narrative voice work and like how simple they are to get into and play. And I really am hoping that Wandering Galaxies follows suit, because this has that Guardians of the Galaxy vibe, like campy, like space aliens and craziness going on. And I'm excited to see Jerry Hawthorne's take on this, because I love Jerry Hawthorne's work in a lot of other games. So I'm going to be really excited to see how Wandering Galaxies comes out. I know they were demoing it for a lot of board game media people at Origins, and if I was there, I would have gotten an opportunity to play this, but I was not there. But Wandering Galaxy looks really exciting, and this is actually going to be coming to Kickstarter super soon, and this is also Plaid Hat's first Kickstarter ever. They've never done a Kickstarter before.
Different.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of excited to see that, because I've actually sat down with Colby, the owner of Plaid Hat, and been like, dude, why are you not on Kickstarter? I mean, I think there were reasons they weren't able to go to Kickstarter before, but it's going to be kind of cool seeing how they run their first campaign and stuff like that, since they're such a well-known company. I think Kickstarter is just like a way to get your money up front as a publisher and like have better marketing, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot less risk, I think, too.
Gauge expectations, too.
I would love if they're able to, since they're such a well-established company, if they're able to pull off something closer to along the lines of what we talk about Stonemaier Games doing, and being like, cool, you guys, we got the game ready. I mean, this game looks very close to ready. I mean, So it'd be like, hey, you guys back the game and we'll send the thing out to you. You know, that'd be really cool.
I'll tell you what, though, if they were smart, they would hire you for their marketing.
Why?
Nobody, because I don't think anybody, and I'm not just saying this because you're my friend, but I don't think anybody has ever done such a good job on marketing a product as you have with Last Light. Like,
I don't know about that. Maybe it's just my Facebook feed.
If you didn't know that Roy was a part of Last Light, or if anybody ever played Last Light, or if anybody said a sentence where it said, hey man, last night I was turning off the lights and you connected Last Light nights, let's go. Like, you were so on top of it. So I would hire you in a heartbeat. And I think they would be dumb not to hire you, which I know you're not asking for that job, but yeah, if I wanted to market anything, you'd be my first call, bro. I think if
That's
they do
hilarious.
half of what you did, the game is going to do very well.
I think most publishers don't do half of what I did. I'm just kidding.
No, they don't.
Definitely designers don't do half of what I did. I did okay enough to where Gray Fox is like, you know what? We're gonna
keep you around.
We're gonna keep you around. We're gonna make sure you like us. I'm like, okay, cool. You guys are awesome. But yeah, so I'm excited about Wandering Galaxy. And it's space. And it's like Sheep Groot on the cover. Or not Groot, Sheep Rocket Raccoon on the cover.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
It looks a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Just don't know if it's going to hit like Dead of Winter. Like, that's such, to me, the perfect Crossroads game.
Yeah, they haven't done one that's in that style since, you know? Like that whole like backstabbing, traitor, survival. Like none of the newer ones are very survival-y, you know? These are more like just stories, you know? Which,
I think some of these new ones are easier to play.
Definitely easier to play. I wouldn't mind though seeing like a more survival-y one that was easy to play also, because Dead of Winter can be a little bit daunting for people sometimes, but if they did narrative stuff the way they're doing in these and like that style of game too, that'd be really cool.
If you could make the setup for a Nemesis game like cut down by half, and then you could do it like a Crossroads style and make it like the Alien movie, with all those cards and stuff, that would be amazing. That would be cool.
Yeah, it'd be super awesome.
I would pay for that game. And I'd beg Kent to play, and he won't play, and then I'll cry when he goes to his room. I'm not saying that happened, but I'm not saying it didn't happen.
So this next picture here is just a picture of the M word. I don't know if we're allowed to say the M word anymore. But yeah, so Hansen Gluck, which produces Carcassonne, apparently several years ago filed a trademark for the word meeple. And there have been so many games, so many podcasts, including, I mean, I shouldn't say this too loudly, but a D&D podcast or a D&D series about misplaced meeples, which we won't talk about too much. But apparently Hansen Gluck is trying to enforce their trademark, and there was a company that they actually sent a cease and desist to, where the company name was like Meeple Inc. or something like that, and then they ended up changing their company name and then changing the title of their game that had Meeple in it as well. And yeah, there's a lot of people that this is causing a big stir in the board game community just because, they have the rights. I think the rights are specifically in Germany for the trademark. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to me that I don't know. I feel like the term meeple has been such like a community driven thing as opposed to like a specific company pushing that, that it's like wild to see that they'd send out cease and desist and try to protect the word meeple,
What about Meeple Circus? I was like trying to think of other games that like have
There's
the
a
word
lot.
Meeple.
Terran, Meeple City,
Yeah.
Meeple Town, like almost you could just do a Meeple and an adjective, and there's probably a board game named it, and then Meeple, and then some sort of other thing, and then there's a podcast named after it, So, yeah, it's crazy that it. Does this work? Like, does it? I mean, it always seems like it fosters ill will in the community when somebody does this sort of thing, right?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Like I've heard stories of like, oh, there was a small daycare that like painted Mickey Mouse stuff on their wall, and they painted it all up and like had all these Disney characters and stuff like that, and Disney sent them like a cease and desist and like said they were going to sue them if they didn't change their stuff. So they took it all down, and then Universal came in and painted a mural of all of their characters for them instead. And like, who does that hurt? That makes Disney look terrible and makes Universal look amazing, So I mean, it's interesting to see when big like corporations lash out against their own community. I mean, I guess it's not really going to hurt because I don't think this is going to stop people from buying Carcassonne or anything like that. I'm not thinking it should either, but it's still just kind of like interesting to see a company be like, made up fantasy word of shape of wooden piece. We're going to try to stake our claim on that.
Yeah.
It feels a little weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after all this time.
Right. Especially after there's so much. It's like, okay, well, you went after them. I think the campaign that was running made like $200,000 or something like that. So maybe it's because they were actually making a decent amount of money off of their game or whatever. And it was during a crowdfunding campaign. But yeah, I don't know. That's wild. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a little too late,
Yeah.
With everything going down. I could understand like if their family or this person was related to the person to first use the word meeple or something like that, but if they don't have a claim like that to the origin of the word meeple, I think it's like probably just a really bad or really successful PR stunt, however it turns out. The thing that worries me about this is if this passes, right? All these other companies in the future, all these other lawsuits will be able to now use this lawsuit as, as so-and-so, so-and-so versus so-and-so. They, allowed this trademark, blah, blah, blah type of a thing, which could go beyond just board games, but could go even more into the board game world where this will now be a comparable case for any future cases. So right. I hope they nix it in the butt, because once this becomes legal and it's binding and a judge has ordered on it, it will now be used for forever.
And I think it was just the fact that they sent them a cease and desist, and then the company changed their stuff, Yeah. But so I don't think it went to actual suit or anything like that.
Settled outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
So now I will no longer say the M word.
Oh, I'm gonna say meeple. Look, it's not Voldemort, all right? Meeple, Voldemort, a Voldemort, meeple. I said it.
And then the next one here, I put this in there because I know Rob likes the franchise overall, but this is Army of the Dead, a Zombicide game. So even if you didn't have enough Zombicide, Rob, there's more Zombicide coming. Don't worry.
Yes, I don't have several Zombicides. Which is a good thing, but I'm still waiting on a few to come in. I like this idea. I like this idea. I really like the movie, and I think I've convinced myself that I like the Zombicides with characters where you can pick up items and stuff. I don't think I like the whole superhero Zombicides, even though I still have my DC Zombicide coming. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and the idea that you're bad guys with zombies, so you're trying to do like bank heists and stuff like that. Because in all the other Zombicide games, you're like trying to rescue people, right? Where these guys are like, nah, Vegas has been overrun. Let's go rob a casino. Like, I love that idea. So I think it'll be really cool. I was excited when they announced this, and I hope good things come with it. So, but isn't it going straight to retail though?
I'm not fully sure on this one. It is from Netflix, so maybe because I know the other Netflix games they had went straight to retail. The Stranger Things went straight to retail.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, I guess let me get to go to the next thing. Hey, we're going to talk a little bit about the games that we have been playing. So I guess we will start off with Matt this time.
Okay, I had to unmute. Sorry. So I haven't really been playing any games except for, a bit of Wingspan. It's down there in the corner. Yeah, got to keep it in there. But no, recently me and my girlfriend have started building Legos. We bought a couple of little Lego sets to build, and it's been a lot of fun. Sort of, kind of like putting together a puzzle or whatever, but, it's a bit more three-dimensional and you can display it. But we've had a good time doing that. I don't know what it is about me and expensive hobbies, but I did not realize how expensive Lego had gotten.
They are so expensive.
Ridiculous.
I think they've
What
always
are you
been
guys
expensive.
into?
Holy smokes.
Well, so we got the bug set. We got a set of plants that had like 9 different things in there. We did the piranha plant. We did a Japanese garden. We did a little film camera and then like a T-Rex skull. And so it's just been a lot of little stuff, but it's come up to being $300 to $500.
They are so expensive.
Legos are
And
expensive.
it's just like, okay, cool. And it's like, I want to get some of the big sets, because it's like they announced and sort of came out with the that Lord of the Rings Lego set.
Yeah, I've seen people do
And the
that.
Lord of the Rings one.
Yeah, they look so good, but it's just
Yeah,
like,
for
my
you.
God, that's $500 for one set.
Yeah.
But
It's wild.
I want to do it, but we'll see. But yeah,
Kent and I did a spell like that where we did Lego sets for a
We
little
were
while.
buying them all the time. We did a bunch.
We did a lot of Star Wars ones, and we had them like hanging up. Like he had them like some of the TIE fighters like hanging down the ceiling from the ceiling, like from the
Yeah.
fishing wire and stuff like that. And it
That's
was,
so
it was
cool.
cool.
Yeah, I used to do so many as a kid. I also get Scotty a bunch like for Christmas. That's all. Like I don't think a Christmas go by where I don't get my kids some sort of Lego sets.
Yeah.
Even if they end up all over the place. But yeah, Scotty loves Legos. For me, I've liked them less after doing signing at Target because I feel like putting those signs together are like putting together Lego
yeah.
sets. So building all the displays and everything, I'm like reading the instruction manual, putting it all together. Like, this is like a job now. But now it's fun. But yeah, and I'm really excited to talk about or hear Rob's game because Rob played something we talked about the podcast several times. You finally got it to the table.
Rob played this game so Rob could tell everybody that he can read.
Except he still had to call me for clarity.
hooray!
What did I ask you though when I called?
You were asking about some of the rules, running out of cards and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, because I was watching Rodney's video, and he was just like, "Yeah, if you run out of cards, you take 2 damage." And they never explained in the rule book or in Rodney's video that if you run out of cards, like my whole question was,
Usually
okay,
it's bad.
you run
You
out
don't
of
sh-
cards.
you don't reshuffle.
You don't reshuffle, and I read that. I read, left to right. I started at the top, worked my way down. But then they don't talk about or at least in this rule book, that because you have to use those cards to attack. You have to use those cards to do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, not to move, but yeah.
But
Well,
if you
sacrifice
move, you
one to
have to
move
draw.
boost.
Yeah.
You can sacrifice one to boost, and yeah, if you move, you have to draw every time 1 card every time, and then you can do the lightning thing, or then you can do the attack and defense. And so that's why I called you. I was like, well, why is Rodney telling me about I can still play if I run out of cards, but then I can't attack or defend?
Oh, you're
or-
gonna
You might have
die
cards in your
real
hand, but
quick.
You can't draw. So if you maneuver with no cards, you'll take some damage.
Yeah,
You
you
might
take
have a
some
hand of
damage.
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you cannot draw a card, you take 2 damage. And the way Rodney explained it is your character is exhausted. So I played Unmatched with my daughter, and she played Unmatched like we play Lorcana. She just went straight for the throat. Totally forgot about her side character person, and so I wrecked her. I pulled out the stuff. Like, hey, here's Little Red Riding Hood, and here's Beowulf. and she saw the Beowulf mini, and she was like, "I want to be Beowulf." Like, okay, fine, kid, you be Beowulf. But it was a lot of fun. It was so simple. It's not hard.
It is really, really easy. Yeah. It's
really
probably easier than Lorcana for sure.
Right. And it's easier than I think than Lorcana.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
Because you just, you do your attack. And if you're attacking, you hope your attack symbol is higher than the defense symbol. And if it is, they take that much damage. And then potentially you'll do that special ability. And Red Riding Hood has a really cool special ability with her basket. But I thought it was fun. It makes me want to get more to mix and match the players. Like, I could see how that's kind of cool. Where, like, okay, like if they sold like starter packs of just like players or units, and so I'm excited for that.
Every single pack of this is literally just more characters for the game. And every single one, it's just more and more and more and more. I have like an entire Calyx cube of just
play with your co-op set.
Yes, it's so fun.
You can just battle with those characters regular.
Yeah, there's like four
characters
more.
in that set.
Yeah, I think we'll try the Tales to Amaze, because we've been on a Lorcana kick playing the Ursula. Like, we finally beat her at normal, and man, it got really tight at one point. She got to 28, and when you're playing 2-player, she draws extra cards when she reaches 10, and she draws extra cards when she reaches 30. And we were like, we cannot let her cross 30. So there's like a couple rounds where we were just killing everything. As soon as it came out, we were just killing it until we could finally get ahead. And so we've really enjoyed this whole co-op working together type of thing. We're going to try Lorcana on hard soon. But I think Tales to Amaze playing together, I think she'll be more into it. I don't think she fully grasped all of Unmatched. But at the same time, like, my other daughter was around. There was distractions. We were messing around and doing other stuff.
Unmatched
and I was like, hey, I need to play this for the podcast. So
it's very interesting because a lot of times you can't, like, if you just go face to face and just somebody's gonna run out of cards. Like, there's a lot of points in a match where you have to tactically retreat, run around a bunch, and draw a bunch of cards back into your hand. Because if you don't have any defense, their hits are gonna go straight through, and you're just gonna get wrecked. So it's like you have to keep your hand, up, and then like kind of maneuver around. Yeah, one of the things I love about Unmatched too is the fact that like the way the range combat works as well is really cool. I don't know if you had.
That's awesome.
I love the colored circles.
Red Riding Hood, and she comes with the hunter. And the range combat, if they're in your same zone, in a zone the zone is basically if you're on your circle, and if they have the same color under their circle as you do, then you're in the same quadrant or space. Yeah. And that range guy, man, there's like, especially in the middle there, look at all those yellow spots right there.
Yeah.
And there's even more that are not in that picture. So you put that hunter guy right there at the top, and he can just just lay into people. And that's what we were doing. We just were doing circles around each other with my Red Riding Hood and her Beowulf, so we could draw cards.
You have to sometimes, right? Yeah.
So, but it was fun. I would definitely play again. I'm glad I got it. It's sort of, I know this is not the same game at all, but it sort of reminded me of that quick head-to-head as Dice Throne does a little bit. I like Dice Throne a little bit better, aesthetically wise. Dice Throne now to people a lot faster, and I have a couple buddies that I know would like this game, and we could just play like real quick. So I'm definitely happy that I played it. I'm happy that I own it. I probably won't be getting rid of it, and I may try to get some more. I'm old school, so like I know in their original set they have like King Arthur and Merlin, and I think Genghis Khan, and like I like guys like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to get some of those sets. But
you got to get the T-Rex. That's what we played last time we did Tales to Amaze. I played as the T-Rex. It was so much fun. I was just going around. It's slow, but it does a lot of damage. It was fun.
Like somebody versus Bigfoot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how many different sets there are. There's all the Marvel characters. There's like Goblin Fog, which has like Dracula and stuff. They have like a Buffy set. They have a Japanese like folk, like a Japanese character set with that has like Japanese general and stuff like that.
You can take a character in Dice Throne and go against anybody else.
Yeah.
And that's what Unmatched sort of feels like too. It's like, okay, it's different, but it's it doesn't feel that much different.
And I think you'll really enjoy the co-op version as well, because the co-op has this like initiative system where you kind of like don't know whether the bad guy's going to go next or their minion's going to go next, or the first player, which could be you, or like your psych or the other player. And it's like that initiative is always changing, and you're trying to figure out how to run and stop the bad guys from doing their thing, which is pretty cool.
I like it, and I like how simple it is. The bad guy in Tales to Amaze, is it the Mothman or something like that?
So there's the Mothman, which is going around trying to wreck bridges, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
And then there's the aliens, which are basically putting out a ton of aliens in all these cornfields and trying to get like flip over these different symbols by like writing stuff in the cornfields. And if too many of them build up, that's bad. And it's fun because there's a whole bunch of different it's very cryptid, I guess. So you have like the Jersey Devil and like the Blob and like all these weird like minions that are also bad guys that you can mix and match and always have different minions you're facing off against as well. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I cannot wait until they come out with more cooperative stuff, because I played against the alien a bunch. I played against the Mothman a bunch. I really want some more minions and some more villains to fight against,
I can't wait till they come out with the Witcher stuff. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Gotcha.
For Unmatched?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, that's kind of cool.
She's going to be tossing a coin on that one for sure.
Yeah.
Bro, hey, when nobody's around, I sing that song. Going to you. Anyway, it also sort of reminds me a little bit of like it's a cheap man's HeroScape, right? Like
I could see that.
I don't know if you guys ever played HeroScape, but you have all these people against all.
Rob Davio did.
Bro, HeroScape was a blast. I loved when I played HeroScape. But you could have a dragon versus the Incredible Hulk versus a World War I infantry guy versus a Roman gladiator versus a Man in Black. It's like so dumb. It's like so dumb.
They're releasing more HeroScape, like
Renegade
it's coming
games,
out.
man.
Yeah, Renegade Games is coming out with it at Gen Con.
Axis and Allies, and now they're coming out with everything. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, Unmatched. If you haven't played it, and it's I don't remember the cost, so I didn't put it down as my game. But if it's under $30, which I think some of their games
there are some of them that are under 30.
I would definitely get it, especially if you're okay with conflict.
You can usually get them at Barnes & Noble for under 30. They have them on sale a lot.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a great idea.
They have a lot of them on clearance at Barnes & Noble sometimes.
They have a
too.
lot. Look in the clearance section. They usually have. I mean, our Barnes & Noble usually have at least one Unmatched set there all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Winston-Salem's got a good board game selection at our Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, I think all
Matt
Barnes &
and I
Noble's
start our board
really
game store.
done a great job with their board game selection.
Our coworker Kenny has an obsession with going to all the Barnes and Nobles and getting all the clearance. And every time he goes to one, he'll take a picture of it. And like, I don't go to Barnes and Nobles to get clearance anymore. I just let Kenny like send me pictures, and like he'll buy like out all the Unmatched sets, and I'll be like, oh, I don't have that one. I'll get like $10 Unmatched sets like all the time.
Yeah, some of those prices are really good.
I know every time I go, I'm like texting Kent, do we have this? No. Yes. Do we have this? Yes. Do we have? Okay. Never mind. I'm just gonna stop texting.
I'm also upset because they often have like $5 like Marvel Champions packs, and I'm like, I wish I didn't already.
I never see those. I see.
I wish I didn't have them all already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've seen a few in the past. We had them all.
Yeah,
but
awesome.
That's when you buy duplicates to have extra cards for your other decks.
Yeah, I don't deck build too much anymore just because I don't have time. But yeah, this is super good, especially if there's super good cards in a specific character.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'm going to talk about my game now. I'm talking about Drop Drive. So this is kind of like an interesting, like pick up and deliver sandboxy style space game, kind of in the vein of Zaya, but it's all very like, I don't know, dexterity-ish, but not really dexterity-ish. You're dropping stuff. So at the beginning of the game, you kind of like set up the board with all of these different crystals and like different planets. The big D12 looking things are the planets, and you set them all in different areas of the play space. And then you have your ships that are going to be flying around, and you have like a little clicker thing, almost kind of like what you had in Star Wars Armada, that you can move your ship around. And whenever you're going, you can move like your thing with the little track. Or you can do like, if you have fuel, you can jump, which means you can basically hold your hand like a foot over like a different area and like drop it. And then you're dropping your character, so you're not necessarily going to land exactly where you want to jump to. But you're going around picking up these different crystals and the different planets. You're going to be able to deliver them to get credits. The point of the game is to get credits. You can also pick up aliens at these different planets, and they're kind of like a set collection with getting different species of aliens to get points. There's also these little like monoliths you can run into, which do anomalies, and they'll appear on the board. So sometimes wormholes will appear, or Dyson Sphere will appear around the star. All this different cool stuff. This was like a very kind of like silly, simple pick up and deliver game, and the game ends when a player has when a certain number of things have been delivered to all of the planets. Then the game just kind of ends, and whoever has the most credits wins. I actually really enjoyed this when we played this during the Summer Spectacular recently, and I had a lot of fun with it.
Have you played Crash Octopus by Oink Games?
No, I have not.
Because this looks very similar to me.
Oh,
It's
nice.
just,
Is that pick up and deliver, or?
It's just you. Basically, you're like ships in an ocean where a big kraken's coming out, but like the center of it's like the octopus head, and the way you set the board up is you take all the treasure and stuff and drop it on the octopus head, and it scatters out on the table.
That's kind of what this is. You drop every time you like collect something, you end up dropping it on the little sun there, and because it's round, it'll like fly anywhere in the play area. You know.
It's what it looks like. It seems that the gameplay is a little different because with Crash Octopus, you're trying to like flick things into your boat or like use little flags to knock things in there. So it's a bit more trying to get stuff. And then once you get stuff in Crash Octopus, you have to keep it on your boat and hold it on there the whole game. Otherwise, if it falls off, it's back in the ocean and you have to go find it again.
I know it's super niche for people to like these dexterity elements in games, but I personally enjoy them. I really enjoy like Ascending Empires, which is like a dexterity 4X game, and then this feels to me like a dexterity like Xia, you know, where you're dropping ships and like dropping cubes around and like being like, okay, well, I'm going to try to do this thing. And one of the things is I like that you can upgrade the speed of your ship so you can add more to the little clicky like thing that you can move with. But yeah, I had a lot of fun playing this. It was definitely a silly little game, and I think this might fit into our category as well. I'm not sure how expensive this game is, but I can't imagine that it'd be a lot. But yeah, I would have to look that up. But yeah,
is that a game board or is that a mat or what's on the
this?
bottom?
I did the Kickstarter version of this, so it comes with like little a barrier that goes around everything. But I think the Kickstarter version came with a mat that basically is a hexagon mat that you basically put in the middle. I think the base game came with like a just the border that goes around it or whatever. So you probably want to play on like a black table or a black cloth, or get you a piece of fabric that looked like space, like I used to have back in the day. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. It was silly fun, and I know it's not going to be for everybody, but I had fun with it. So that is Drop Drive. Kent's game is a video game.
I was hoping you would talk about this. I've been wondering if he's been playing this.
So I haven't really had much time to play many board games. I've played
been
pretty
too
much
busy
Lorcana,
dying,
and then I've played the Elden Ring expansion. I'm obsessed with Elden Ring. I've played so much of it, thousands and thousands of hours. And so I was waiting a long time for this expansion, and it's pretty good. I'm taking
How many times have you died?
A lot, but not crazy amounts. Reasonable amounts. But anyway, it's really good. It takes up all my time. It's fun. But anyway, I just want to put that in there for Rob. I got Rob into playing the base game, and he gave up on it, unfortunately. But
I just like so many things, and I just get I am that dog who sees car and then I chase car. So.
But it's amazing. I feel like it's probably my favorite game ever. But you know, that's not a board game.
Is it worth it though? Is it worth getting the expansion?
Totally worth it. The DLC is as big as many $60-$70 games out there. It's probably more content than some of the main like regular old video games out there. So
that's awesome.
It's incredible. But anyway, board game wise, so my son has really been into playing Robot Quest Arena, which is a deck builder from Wise Wizard Games. And so a lot of times he asks to play it, but it's just usually me and him. And that game is probably a little bit better with more players because it's like chaotic and you can go in and fight all the different robots and stuff. So I was like, hey, maybe he's able to play Star Realms because they're same, I believe, same designer, same company. And I've got so much Star Realms. I bought it, all the different sets over the years. So I was like, let's try Star Realms. So I pulled Star Realms out and we played it, and he loved it. He loves the how simple it is, and it's probably more complicated than Robot Quest Arena in some ways, but he had so much fun with this. He was asking to play it over and over. We played it, we played the physical version maybe like 4 or 5 times, and then I showed him the app on the computer, so he was sitting there playing against the AI on the computer for a little while and was loving that. And then we ended up playing a game head to head on the computer on Steam, so we both were playing on that just for fun. And it was doing we added in a bunch of expansions and all sorts of stuff, and it was doing all the stuff for us, which was kind of nice to have that automated for the shuffling your deck and counting all your numbers up and everything. But he had a lot of fun with it. It's still a great game. It's older at this point, but if you want a head-to-head, pretty straightforward deck building game that has a ton of content, there's so much content for this game out there. You can get all the expansions and mix all of them together for the most part, and it's more
pretty simple too.
Yeah, pretty simple, more cool stuff going on. And it just went over really well. I still enjoy this game. I've played thousands of games on the app, and
that's awesome.
It's still entertaining, I think. So we like deck builders a lot, and this is probably one of the best if you want a head-to-head simple deck builder. Any of the sets of Star Realms is fun.
I think the first time I ever played Star Realms was like during International Tabletop Day that we used to have back there in Winston-Salem, like way back in the day, that a lot of people would actually show up at, and they had like a little tournament for this.
Oh, that's cool.
They had a tournament for it, and I'd never played it before, but like my friends were like, "Oh, let's play in the tournament." I was playing with some other people, and they're like, "Oh, let's play." And so I played in it. Very first time ever playing. I played deck building games, but I ended up winning the tournament, so therefore I won a copy of Star Realms. So the copy I have of Star Realms, I got for free because I won the tournament. Nice. So that was kind of fun.
And if you get the single like base game box, it is just a deck of cards, and it's really portable. It's super easy to play. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But once you get all the expansions, you need like multiple boxes.
It's like a huge box now. Yeah.
We have so much stuff, but yeah. But it's great, and Hero Realms is very similar. It's basically the same game, a little bit different as far as some of the cards go, but it's if you like fantasy, go for Hero Realms. If you like sci-fi, go for Star Realms.
Nice.
But yeah, that's Star Realms.
And then Courtney's game. I love this game.
Yeah, so like I said, since we did the podcast last week, we hadn't had time, and Kent's been playing a lot of Elden Ring, so I've been just reading my book. But so we play a lot of games that our oldest son Steven likes to play, and so
what book?
What book? We'll talk about that later. Nobody wants to hear about what books I'm reading.
All right, we'll talk later, but I do.
It's Brandon Sanderson, of course. So.
Oh, that's fine.
Ooh, that new one.
I bet you people in chat like Brandon Sanderson. Come on.
It's Defiant. It's his like Cytonic Defiant.
It's his like young adult.
It's like one of his young adults.
Divergent.
I'd probably like.
It's really good. Anyway, so back to so we played Robo Rally with our son. That's another one of his favorites. This is awesome. Just a programming game where you've got a deck of cards and you're moving your robot through using your cards to move your robot through checkpoints. And you kind of have to pay attention to. There's a lot of things on the board that can like move you around. Plus, if you run into other players, they can move you around, so it can sometimes mess up your program, which can be kind of fun. There was one part we were playing the game where he had like misjudged a turn. Like I think he thought he was turning left and he was turning right, and so like it just was like about to mess up his whole line, and so he just immediately started crying. I was like, "But it's okay, just take your cards back, and we'll just give you a do-over," because he was about to just lose it. And so he just like quickly reshuffled redid his cards real quick. But it was just funny. But yeah, it's just a fun little game. We usually Kent is nice and just does one board and 3 checkpoints, so it's like it still takes a while, but it's relatively simple. It's not like hours and hours and hours trying to get around like multiple boards and stuff and back again. So, but yeah, it's a fun game. It's fairly simple too, just like a really good programming game for kids. I think if you're kind of into that. And we had the old version, but then we got the new Renegade version, which has kind of nicer components. And then I'm sure we'll probably end up getting the Transformers version that they're coming out with, because we like Transformers too. So I think that one's supposed to be a little bit different too.
I've never played this with them. That would be pretty fun. How do you guys do the maps for the kids?
Well, he actually, for this game we played, he picked the board and he picked where the checkpoints went. But for the most part, just pick a simple map. Just do like one or two
board.
checkpoints.
Yeah,
definitely one board for sure. Because it gets, unless you know what you're doing, it gets really out of hand. It can take so long.
And it was taking a while for us to. I mean, and we've all had played it a few times. So, but it was just
and find a board that doesn't have so much stuff on it. Like there's a good variety of boards that come in that box, especially for the Renegade version. I don't know how the other version
I
had
think
a lot of boards.
almost all of them have a ton of boards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it is nice. You can kind of pick exactly what you want, and then just do something pretty simple and just kind of play around with that, and then you can go up as you get more comfortable, obviously, with the all the different little mechanisms on the board and everything.
I think almost every time I've played this game, I've played it a mass amount of times. I almost always do the beginning setup. It's just
okay, yeah,
and it's
we
still hard. It's
We
still
just do
so
whatever we
hard.
want. It is, yeah. But we just we just say pick the board you want, and then we say pick your checkpoints, or maybe you pick the board, I'll do the checkpoints, that kind of thing, and we just do 2 or 3 checkpoints typically.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it goes over pretty well. It's just still a fun game.
I really want to teach this one to Ruthie also. I think she'd have fun with it.
Yeah, Robo Rally is a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made you guys play it back in the day, right, Matt?
Yeah.
I love being able to set your line and then see it all play out, and then just have it just get destroyed by one little miscalculation, or one person moving you,
pushing you
way, or accidentally. And half the time it's not even intentional. Sometimes it's intentional, but it's just so funny how things play out, and it's just oh, well, I didn't expect you to move me one space this way, so now everything is just totally destroyed. But it's just so chaotic and fun in that
or when
way.
your robot starts locking up, and your robot is always going to turn left at the end of your programming, every single time. You just have to calculate the fact of
I think they changed that in this version. Maybe.
Oh, they don't have that in this version?
Well, they have. So in this version, I can't remember how damage was in some of the older versions. Our older version, I think you maybe took damage and you had a damage counter or something. I can't remember exactly. In this version, there's only 2 types of damage cards. You get a spam or a haywire. And so if you get a spam card, it just goes to your discard pile, and it stays in your hand and basically takes up a spot until you either play it in a line. And when you play that in a line, when you're resolving it, you flip over the top card of your deck, and that's the action you're doing. So you're doing a random action. Now, a haywire is a different kind of card. It goes face down in your command line, and it automatically resolves when that happens, when you resolve it next round.
Yeah.
But you can plan around that, so you know what that card is going to do. So it's going to do something really funky, but you can actually use that to your advantage if you plan correctly.
Interesting.
So it's kind of cool. So it's either spam or haywire. So
in the version I have, you have a few regular damage spots, but if you take enough damage, you start locking different programming things. So it's now at the end of at your very last thing you do is you always move forward, and you all know you're always going to do that. And then the next one can get locked. And it's oh, and now I know I'm always going to turn and then move forward. But in that one you can also do cooldown, where you heal yourself if you just pass your turn, sort of thing.
You can still do that. You can still do a shutdown or whatever I forget what it was called, but you can still do that. But it sounds like it's a little bit different. But I mean, this seemed pretty streamlined and pretty easy to handle as far as damage goes.
And the funny thing is,
Steven's favorite part was shooting us.
Yeah, the laser shoot at the end of the round.
At the end of the round. So it's if you're pointing the right way, and I think one time he shot Kent 3 times in the same round or something. Yeah. He thought it was the best thing ever.
And this is a Richard Garfield game, and he technically designed this before Magic the Gathering, and this is kind of the game he first brought to TSR, Wizards of the Coast, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And they're oh, this is we're not going to be able to sell this. And then he made Magic after that. And then after Magic came out and was super successful, he's okay, Robo Rally. So that's kind of crazy. The fact that this was made before Magic. This was kind of one of his earlier designs.
Yeah, that is funny.
So, that's super cool. But yeah, our topic for today is budget games. Games $30 and under.
It's getting harder and harder to find that price point.
It definitely is.
It is.
I know all the games that I was oh, what about this thing? It was $31. What about this game? $33. I was oh, okay, well, I'm in the right area, but not under 30.
Yeah, I mean you can find them on sale sometimes or specials, but normally, a lot of these are over 30.
I went to Miniature Market and I put my price down at $30. All the games available at $30 or less, and then I put the most popular, so that stuff would pop up. But But yeah, it is pretty crazy how many games. I almost changed it to 35. Because there are a lot of good games between 30 and 35.
Yeah.
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 It's mostly expansions. When I did the filter, like
cheap games are party games.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
or they're like the mass market games, like Sorry
Or
and
Monopoly.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is expansions. If you're looking at hobby games,
Just give him a kiss.
Mm-hmm.
What are you
There's
talking
so
about?
many-
She didn't even say hi.
She waved
It's okay. I'll
to
say hi
me
next week.
instead of
Just
waving
video
to you
bomb.
guys, and then gave me a kiss. That was weird. But yeah.
I didn't see a wave. I just saw a side profile. Her face touched your face, and then she left.
It happens sometimes, you know. It happens.
I'm gonna text my wife. If you love me, you'd come down here and kiss me. Watch Matt all of a sudden like leave camera, and you see Matt like
Come in your
30
thing.
minutes. Just,
I'll be there in 40 minutes, bud. Don't worry.
True love.
Man, that'd be so cool.
But hey, I guess we'll start with Matt's game.
Oh man, I went with a One Night Ultimate Werewolf again.
It's good. I need to replay this. I should teach this to Ruthie.
It's such a good game, and the thing that I love about it is the game takes 5 minutes,
Right.
regardless of what's going. It's 5 minutes, and it's over. And so you just keep running it back and back and back and back because it's just that much fun. The other kind of reason that I went with it is I was looking at a lot of the games I have behind me and a lot of other things, and a lot of the games that I have that are under $30, they don't sell anymore.
Mm.
Like you
Yeah,
cannot
that's a big
find a lot of those games in stock, so I'm just like, dang. But like One Night, whether it be Ultimate Werewolf, Alien, Vampires, I'm like,
Alien's my favorite.
Alien's the most chaotic. That's why I like that one. The
Alien's
best.
my favorite too.
It was wild to me. I was like, oh, Fallout Shelter. I bet you that's cheap. I was looking, I guess it's out of print, and it's like on eBay for like $150. I'm like,
geez.
never mind. Dear Lord. I would not pay $150 for that game. Never mind.
Well, they probably lost the license rights and they just can't reprint it. I'm guessing.
Yeah, who knows? That's wild.
Plus with the show.
The
it's
show
hard
actually
enough,
made
yeah.
Fallout more popular too. So
Yeah.
Anyway, if anybody wants to give me $150 for my Fallout game, I'm just kidding. I really like the game, but
It's a good one.
Do we have that one too? Yeah. That's good.
but yeah, awesome. But yeah, One Night Ultimate Werewolf is awesome.
yeah, man.
Rob's game, and Rob brought proof.
Rob picked my game.
I picked the best game. This is, I think, the best bang for your buck game that you can get for under $30. Marvel United is such a fantastic game. It's got great minis. It's also got a great IP. It is a solid game. Like, I have only played the base game a handful of times. I haven't played with any of the other stuff. But it's also typically when I play the game, I'm teaching it to new people, so that's why just the base game. But it's still so good. It is such a wonderful game. It comes with enough heroes and the cards and everything else to get going right outside of the box. The heroes are not painted, but that's okay. You're only paying $30. And so I think this is by far, if you're a gamer or if your kid is a gamer and if you have a Disney Plus account, you need this game. Because Disney Plus with all the Marvel stuff, but like this is such a fun game, and I love that it's co-op too, especially when introducing it to new gamers, because it's not threatening. It's not like, hey, I'm Iron Man and I'm going to destroy you, Captain America. No, you get to work together, and so a lot of people have really enjoyed that when we play together. And also, it's pretty difficult with just the stuff that comes in the box. Like it can be kind of hard. A lot of that will depend on how the cards are shuffled or whatnot, but still. Such a great game. Marvel United core box, and they're doing so much, and they're about to announce another Marvel on Kickstarter or Game Pass.
Marvel DC. Yeah, it is literally
Right.
coming.
It's DC United.
DC United.
DC superheroes or
DC
something.
United.
Oh, sorry, DC
Which
United.
I hope it crossover, which it should be able to cross over because it's just mixing cards.
It can.
Even if it doesn't,
It will cross
It will
over,
do it.
but
It
they're
will,
not
but
saying
they
it
can't officially
crossover.
say that probably.
yeah, it's like the same thing with the Marvel Zombie side. I'm pretty sure you put in the DC hero thing, and it does the same thing. So anyway,
Yeah,
great
we're playing
game.
it on the
This is my
Dice Tower
pick.
tomorrow, the DC one or whatever. So,
Oh, nice.
but yeah, and
I'll have to
it's
check
just
it
the
out.
core set, which is
Batman in it.
Batman. They did so many heavy hitters in that core set. It's Wonder Woman, Batman, The Flash, and Superman. It's like, holy smokes, they got all the big names in the first
They
one.
had to. Yeah.
That's pretty.
And then it comes with like Darkseid and Joker and the Cheetah Lady, whatever she is. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
The
Cheetah-
one
isn't
that
it
was
just
just Wonder
Cheetah?
Woman 2.
Yeah.
Is it
or
just Cheetah?
Woman 1984.
Cheetah.
Yeah.
She's a cheetah.
She's a cheetah.
That's what she is. Yeah, this is a great pick.
That's
I need
why leopards
Yeah,
won't
it's so good.
in the jungle.
So good.
I have so much of this game that I
Yeah, I
haven't
can't
even
wait till the
touched.
multiverse stuff comes too.
You know
we
why
haven't
leopards
played through the
won't
other
in the jungle?
ones.
What?
Hmm?
Do you know why leopards won't play poker in the jungle?
Because of the cheetahs?
There's too many cheetahs.
Yeah.
It's your dad joke for the night.
There you go. My game. Star Realms was already mentioned. This is my replacement for Star Realms, and this is Star Wars: The Deck Building Game. Dun dun dun. This is right at that $30 price point, but
I saw it
really.
at clearance at Target today.
Oh, for how much?
I think it was like maybe 19.
Go get this game.
I have it.
I really enjoy this game. If you like deck building head to head like Star Realms, this gives you that vibe, but with Star Wars. And I really enjoy the mechanic of blowing up your opponent's base and getting the boon when it's kind of like when your base blows up. It's like, dang, you're 1/3 of the way to beating me, but I get a cool upgrade by picking my next base. It's kind of like this cool catch up mechanic as you get hit. Hey, I can get a free card out of the row, or hey, I can destroy something that you have, or hey, I can cull my deck. I really enjoy this game, and it's a blast to play. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And you get to battle off against each other as Star Wars characters and recruit a bunch of them to your deck.
I was just talking to my kids about this because Emerson's been watching us play Lorcana, and she's like, "Dad, I want to play," and I was like, "Yeah, I want to play too. However, I want to play this other game."
Do you have this?
I want you to be the reason. Yeah, I have this.
Play it.
And you want to be. I want to teach you because you're, So we got to get this to the table. We'll get it to the table soon. It looks so cool, and I like how it's complete. That's the only thing I don't like about the Lorcanas or the Magics or the other stuff. You know how they cycle out. There's always that new thing. I like this idea of how it can be complete, and I can play with my family and my kids. So yeah, Star Wars deck building game. That's a great pick.
Until the new set comes out, the Clone Wars set.
Yeah, but that is also standalone,
know,
and it is also still just complete.
You can mix those.
Right, but you have to do like weird stuff to mix it. I think you have to take
know.
some stuff out and put some stuff in or something weird like that. So
I mean complete as in not like Magic where you have like every 18 months a new set and you can't use this anymore for the tournament.
18 months. It's probably like what, every 4 months?
Yeah.
Is it every 4 months?
It's every three or 4 months. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they usually do 2 or 3 sets a year.
Shut the front.
I think it's 4 sets a year for Lorcana.
they haven't rotated
those
anything out
cards
in
don't go out.
Lorcana yet.
No
They
rotation
don't
yet.
go out. You can still use the ink
so far.
lands, right?
Have they talked
Inkland,
about?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
Have they talked about rotating stuff out, or if they're going to do that at
Nothing
all?
official. No. Nothing official.
That was my thing with Magic. Is like I played Magic for an entire cycle, and I got super hardcore into it. I got to the point where I could win like little 80-person tournaments, which 80-person tournaments aren't really little. And then rotation happened, and then I'm like, dang, my deck is no longer legal for tournament play. I now have to go buy a whole new deck. And then I was getting back to the point where I could start winning them again. I was like,
And then, dang.
I was like,
gotta buy new stuff. Yeah.
well, I was like working my way up at like with a different deck, and like I was like, oh, I played against somebody who had a very similar deck than me that had this $50 card in it, and I'm like, I really need that card. Like I knew that I needed that card, but playing against it made me really see how much I needed that card. I'm like, but I need 4 of them, so I could either drop $200 to start winning again, or I could just quit. So I just
also for a card that's eventually going to cycle out. You're going to drop $200 for a card that is eventually going to cycle out.
it was
It may come
50.
back in too, though. Who
Hold
knows?
on, let me see how much that card's worth right now.
But also, if it's Magic, that $50 card, give it a few years, that might be a $200 card. Maybe.
Conversely,
Or
they
not.
reprint it in a different.
Yeah, they reprint it and
like
it's like
different
a
art.
common. Who knows?
That card is currently $15.35.
Okay.
Hey, you can finally bring that deck back, bro.
That card is also not legal, and that's why the price dropped on it. So
On Commander, though, it's legal, right?
for one of them, Commander, you can only have one of each
Commander,
card in
you
your
can
deck.
only do 1 card.
One of each card?
Yeah.
And you do 100
card deck, one of each card, and most cards are legal. They still have some illegal cards in Commander, but Commander used to be a casual format, but not anymore.
I'm not doing it anymore. I give up. I'm done. I bought like a couple packs when the Lord of the Rings thing came out. I didn't find the one ring on my $7 that I spent, so I'm done.
Oh. Did you buy the correct type of pack to find the One Ring in?
Yeah, you had to buy the collector pack, which is like $35.
I don't know. The guy was there and he was like, "Do you want this pack?" And I said, "Yeah, I bought it."
Probably wasn't the right kind then.
It wasn't.
Yeah, unless it was $35, it wasn't.
I got like the box thing that was like $30, and then I got a couple booster packs.
I do pre-releases occasionally, and I have a lot of fun with it, but it's still just like.
No, I've given up. I'm done. You've convinced me. I'm done.
Do it. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Most about Magic is the art. And
just like you guys talked me out of Warhammer, because guys, you have no idea how close I was.
Dude, which army were you gonna go after?
Probably Tau.
Dude, Tau looks so cool.
Yeah. Right?
It's upsetting to me how cool most of those miniatures look in that game.
Well, the thing I didn't like about the Marines and stuff is like, bro, I don't want to be like the super awesome space warrior and run around with a sword or a chainsaw sword. No,
the Tau have mechs.
But I want a huge laser cannon, and I want like all these awesome guns and stuff. And the Tau, that's pretty much all their stuff. Is just like rifles and laser cannons. So I was like, I could go Tau. Like this looks really.
But they have like mechs, right? The Tau are like the mech guys. They're like almost like Japanese and mech inspired, right?
Yeah.
And their units that their people are just like aliens, like blue-headed aliens. They're really cool.
They do. But their mechs, like they have some really cool looking tanks that almost remind me of like Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace tanks. And then they have like these cool Gundam style robots. It's like Gundam wing type of. I don't know. I almost was.
Rob,
I just needed like two of you to say to do it.
It's almost good that we don't live close to each other because we'd probably get each other in trouble at some point.
We'd be in a lot of trouble. We would be. Because I'd call you. I'd be like, "Hey man, are you gonna buy this? Because you live near me, so we can play." And you're like, "I was like."
The problem is I don't have anybody to play with, so it saves me. You know, I don't have anybody to play collectible games with. Saves me. Don't have anybody to play miniatures games with. Saves me. So I have a bunch of Age of Sigmar stuff over here that I got for free, but I don't put it together because I don't have anybody to play with.
Well, man, I still have all my. Well, not all. I've sold a couple of armies for my Game of Thrones. I think it's a great miniatures game. I really like it. I still have some armies for it.
I still have all my Rune Wars stuff.
And bro, I still have my Rune Wars. I use it for D&D.
I have so much Rune Wars stuff. It's insane. It's literally insane.
The human army where it has those big rock golems. I have those rock golems typically as guards at schools and stuff like that.
I think I have at least 2 units of every single type of unit for Rune Wars because I got it all on clearance.
Man,
so dumb.
We used to play the fire out of that game.
We'd played at tournaments and crap like that. So
yeah, Star Wars the deck building game.
Speaking of games that are under $30, we went on a tangent of games that cost thousands of dollars.
Yeah. You could probably buy one pack for $30 or something. You get one figure.
Back in the day, maybe.
You probably get one figure for $30, right?
Figure.
Yeah, one figure. Yeah, one guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Warhammer. Yeah, you spend like, what's it, like $40 or $50 for like a cheap little unit.
I half want to get Necrons just to have them, like for no reason.
Yeah.
Well, they look cool. If they ever come out with a dead army for an Army of the Dead for Game of Thrones, I'll probably get that.
Anyway, Kent, your game, Targi.
So Targi. So I noticed we've been picking a lot of 2-player games. I think that's just because anything higher than that is
costs more.
Unless you're like getting a tiny little card game, it's pretty much going to be only 2-player because I guess you got to pay for extra components. But Targi is a 2-player only worker placement game. So it's very finely tuned for that 2-player kind of Eurogame experience. But it's got this cool system where it's based on a grid. So you put these little cards down on the table, and that's kind of the game board, and you're placing your little worker guys so they intersect at different paths, and then based on where they intersect, you're kind of blocking off options for your opponent, but also, deciding what spots you're going to be getting stuff from. So it's just very simple, but like it's got a lot of cool choices and depth to it for just a simple grid-based worker placement game. And it's just a lot of fun. We haven't played it in a little while, but it's always been a good time when we did play it. It feels very balance well for 2 players. It's very it can feel a little tight, and it's one of those games where you're just like agonizing over where your opponent's going to place their stuff, because they're just going to block out what you're trying to do, and they may place based on, they may intentionally place something in a certain spot just to shut you out of certain options anyway. So it's a very cool like back and forth worker placement Euro game, but pretty simple and just very fun and streamlined. There is an expansion for it. I don't know if we played the expansion or not. I can't remember.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it replaces the base game cards. But
I've heard good things about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember if we played it or not. But it's been years since we played.
I want to say we have, but I couldn't.
We might have, yeah. But it's just a good time. I think I saw it online for $19. For $19, that's a lot of game. If you want like a kind of a meaty 2-player game, it's solid. And that is Targi. It's been around for many years too. I think it's been pretty popular for years and years and years.
That's awesome. Love it. Next is Courtney's, which we already talked about a little bit tonight.
We kind of already mentioned it before, but I picked because Rob picked Marvel United. I picked Dice Throne. So I'm not really big on these head-to-head games. I don't know, but it's something about chunking some dice and like Yahtzee style I just love, and so this is one of the few ones that I actually like to play, going back and forth, trying to take down your opponent kind of thing, or take down the opposite person. So, but yeah, so Dice Throne, like I said, you're just throwing dice Yahtzee style, try to line them up and do attacks on your opponent, and you have cards that let you do sometimes special powers. I think Kent put the Marvel Dice Throne that came out with Captain Marvel and Black Panther. I like this set a lot. It's fun. If you're, like I said, a Marvel fan, or they've got just the regular generic kind of like fantasy ones too. But yeah, this one's just a 2-player set too, so another 2-player game. But this one's fun and awesome components, and like I love the artwork and stuff too on these games, and game trays. They're pretty awesome. But yeah, it's a good game.
Any of them are good. Really.
Yeah, many of them are good.
Any of the 2-packs.
Yeah, I feel like if anything besides the 2-packs is probably pushing above that price point, but the 2-packs are definitely a good start into this, and yeah, they're fun. I don't know if I've ever won a game of Dice Throne. I feel like I've lost every single time I've played, which is fine with me. But yeah, Ruthie's wrecked me in this at least 3 times. Tom's wrecked me in this. Joey has wrecked me in this. Mike has wrecked me. Everybody that I've ever played.
Joey?
There's a lot of luck. There's a lot of luck.
Joey, wow.
I've seen Joey try to throw games to purposely try to lose them, and I still lost to Joey in this game. He couldn't throw the game enough to let me win. I lost in this game, but yeah, it's fun though.
Why were you just not rolling what you wanted to roll, or what was?
I think I don't keep things properly, or I don't upgrade stuff properly, and then a lot of times I'm like trying to like get a specific thing, and I just always fail at getting it. I don't know.
Okay.
And my defense rolls always just are terrible.
So, well, yeah. I mean, yeah, some of that stuff you definitely can't help.
But no, it's fun. And I honestly like to have casual games because I like to just sometimes see how the dice may lay. A dice thrown is a dice thrown.
Yeah.
The dice are so good. Dice Throne is probably one of the best put together games out there.
I'm telling you, Roxley, man.
The boards and everything.
Roxley
the only
thing
I don't like about it is the little cards. Fit a normal card sleeve. Like you have to order their custom cards.
But those aren't normal cards. They're just a different standard than the regular ones. But yeah.
I'm looking for those America normal cards. All right.
I think those are standard. So I think if those are called standard American. They're called standard American. Look up standard American card sleeves, and those are the size.
America. Those
standard American here in America. Oh. But that's not Magic size. It's a little smaller than Magic.
American card sleeves.
You play Kent's set, and he's got everything like decked out. He's got like an actual Mjolnir, like this gold-plated, diamond-crusted Mjolnir for, Thor and all this kind of stuff. And he's actually like hitting me in the face with like this webbing when he's like Spider-Man or whatever. And then he's got like these card sleeves. So when I order mine, I got to try to order the card sleeves because you can't play without card sleeves. And I try to order regular card sleeves. Nope, you have to order their card sleeves.
No, you don't have to order their card sleeves.
What did you expect? What did you expect from someone named Kent Parker,
Who
Superman,
literally-
Spider-Man. Kent Parker, Superman, Spider-Man. Like, he's got this on lock.
I thought
Come
he
on.
was human, and you're right. He's not.
He's not.
He's not human.
He's
He's a monster,
He's
but in a good way.
greater
He's
than
our,
human.
he's our beautiful monster.
Now I gotta look it up for you.
I'm gonna send you a link.
Nope. If you text it to me, I'm just gonna delete it.
No, be sure to click it though, because it's an affiliate link for Miniature Market, so he gets a kickback for each person who clicks the link.
That's how I became number 3 on Miniature Market. He's got to get to number 1.
There you go.
Hey guys.
Got all those referrals.
Again, thank you for our sponsor, Miniature Market, aka.
Not our sponsor. Bleep it
Not
out.
affiliated with a miniature market.
At least they're not Meeple Market. That'd be terrible.
Ooh. I bet you can't get those card sleeves at Meeple Market.
Wait, does that mean Rampage / Terror Meeple City is going to go out of print twice and then come back a third time with a completely different name?
We're going to get a cease and desist for the Tales of Misplaced Meeples, and we're going to have to rebrand our D&D campaign from like 5 years ago.
Right? Yeah. Oh no, we have to take that down. Okay.
They were getting so many views.
You know what I want to go back and watch? I want to go back and watch when we did that Hot Ones challenge.
It's on there, and me gagging in the background, still on there.
I need to go back and watch that.
It's so sad. That first taste of the bomb, and we're all just like, guys, we didn't know what we had done. That was wild.
Not doing it.
But yeah, that was so fun. But yeah, hey, well, this has been a podcast. We have rounded it up and made it happen. And done games and things.
We missed Adam. Sorry. He couldn't be
Yes,
here tonight.
Adam was off
See what I
doing
did there?
science.
He's not even doing science. He's off in the wilderness taking pictures of scientists.
That's true.
Yeah.
Taking pictures of
Watching
science
people
isn't
do
documenting science. He's documenting science.
I don't know. The picture he sent in the group chat was like very pretty.
That was gorgeous.
I was like,
He's-
wow.
He's trying to make it sure that when the scientists get peer reviewed, that it passes.
There we go.
Peer review.
I blocked all of Kent's messages.
Good. Do you want me to kick him off the
I
podcast
like
real quick?
How
Is there a way to can I
I
crop
like how
this so that
official
it's
name
just...
of the card sleeves is Standard American, as you were.
Sir,
Here we
it's
go.
not fair.
There we go. I cut Kent out of the video stream, and now it's just Courtney.
I'm sure you
That's
can still
just
hear
for
him,
you,
though.
Rob. Just for you.
Actually, I'm trying to show his messages because he had some good stuff from before. And now- can you guys see his messages or just me?
Oh wait, did he message the group? He didn't message. the
No,
group.
no, on the on our YouTube.
Oh, if you deleted them on there, they may just be gone.
Oh no, I didn't delete them on there. I was deleting Kent actually
No,
his
Rob-
face
Rob
from the
was deleting
stream.
it on there.
Oh, Rob's deleting it.
Yeah.
I can still
You guys
see
not
it
see
because
his
I'm.
message hidden.
Yep.
Can I
exactly it.
copy this? I can't copy it. Dang it. Oh well. Anyway, so much for Kent's
Oh,
comments
they're
in the
back.
thing.
You have to refresh. You have to refresh.
Okay. Oh, you hid them and then unhid them? Sometimes I check the Facebook to see if anybody's commenting while we're on here. Looks like
It's not American. I don't care what he says. In Asmodee, they've become a terrible monster in our industry. So if you're going to trust them, sir, right? I'm with the people. Right? You can trust those evil corporations. Asmodee sold us out.
Evan, the designer of After the Empire, said, "The Cheetah Lady" trademark. And then also said, "The Money Wheel." I'm not 100% sure what all that has to do with our content here, but something. It had something to do with it.
Probably.
Well, this has been a good show.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody's going to be at Dice Tower next week, definitely come up and say hi.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And here's what's going to happen when you go and say hi to Kent. It's going to be like, hello.
Hey.
Where do I know you from?
Just going to stand there and look at you. Like, just be prepared. You have to engage in the conversation. I love Kent. I'm a talker. That's how I can get Kent to talk. But if you're not a talker and you go approach Kent, it's going to be two awkward hellos. And then that's it. Hello? Hello?
How's it going? I will be there. Definitely come and say hi to me. I'm going to be running a Last Light
somebody
event.
Take a picture with all three of you guys, or with whoever they can, and just post it so you guys can experience
We're
that.
running a Last Light event where I'm giving out trophies.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I saw you post those on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. So that'll be fun. Hopefully it stays casual and people don't get too uptight about it. But yeah, I'm excited.
There's a trophy.
I didn't want
they're
to, like,
definitely
cause-
going to get uptight about it.
So what?
I
It's
said there's a
extremely
trophy.
serious.
They're
They're
going
going
to
to
take that
very
seriously.
seriously.
Oh yeah,
Maybe I don't tell. Well, I posted it on Facebook.
yeah. You posted it all over Facebook.
Yeah, too late.
Too late. You've already generated the hype.
Again, I
But
would
all the
hire you
people.
for my marketing guy.
Oh yeah. Well, you know. But yeah, good times. I do have a few. I have 3 more copies of Last Light I need to punch before that event. So it is fun punching your own game though, over and over again.
Well, if you want a punch copy, I'll sell you mine.
Well, your copy's deluxe copy. I'll take it. How much?
Oh, it's not gonna be cheap.
How much?
Several $100s.
Dang it.
We'll talk.
No.
I know you're
I
not
have a single deluxe copy, and I painted the ships in mine. So ha. But good
I've been
times.
painting D&D stuff, so ha.
Ha. Awesome, guys. Well, thanks everybody who's
Stuff.
joined us.
That's
It's been
so
fun to see people in chat, but I guess we'll see everybody on the next one. Hope you guys have an awesome
Hey guys,
one.
have a fair and safe 4th of July. Please don't get hurt or do anything stupid.
Keep all your limbs. Bye.
Now,
Bye.
everyone,
Scary.
are you in Japan?